Updates. Tony here at Old Man Wrenching. Been working on the Bubblegum Crisis pinball pretty hard, getting ready for Southern Fried 2026. I think I've got the playfield all sorted out now. I've got the ramps installed. I'm using a kind of an idea that I had. There's no hoop at the end of the ramps. This is like a tuning fork, and so what happens is the ball has a certain weight to it, and as it travels it spreads apart the forks and eventually it drops through. And I kind of like that, actually. I've been testing it. I'll try this one here. So the trick is, what I've discovered is the distance that this is from the very end. This one has a little bit more tension on it, so I've had to spread these a little bit. But if I was to do this again, I would move this up to here, and then that gives me that extra little bit of give. Now, the nice thing about having it in that location is I was able to tie it into my bumper cover as a support bracket. So that was kind of nice. What else have I added? I got the captive ball all installed. This is a protected captive ball, so you have to first hit the drop target, and then you can hit this. When I first did this, I actually had that too close, and you could hit the drop target and the ball simultaneously. I didn't really like that. This was my original vision, was to have it protected like that, and then you could hit it. Other thing that I've added, I don't know if I can pull it up to let you see it, but there's a drop target that pops up in the ramp, and that was a workaround originally that I came up with because my ramp angle was too sharp, and so the ball didn't want to go up. So then when I extended the ramp and brought the angle out, it did two things. It covered up my light and it covered up my drop target. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a piece of Mylar. It's only be affixed on the one side, and then as the target pops up, it'll pop that Mylar up. But then the Mylar will act as a support as the ball goes up. And I have tested this, and even with that hole, the ball will go over it without any problem. So I think that's a winner. What else have I done? I've added in pieces to direct the ball for here, and also a ball to prevent ball traps in the back. I've also added one over here to prevent a ball trap, and I've elevated this ramp a little bit so that I don't have a ball trap back here either. So the ball, I'm going to toss it back in there and see what happens. Oh, guess I don't have it fixed. Oh, I know what I've done. Yeah, so that's going to have to be trimmed just a little bit. I've got that a little bit too. I tested that earlier, but what I think has happened is when I bolted this down, it probably put pressure on that and shoved it over. So anyway, that's one that I'm working on. That shouldn't be too bad. That all works. What else? Let's see. Just show you the upper. That's how that works. And there's one over here. He works. There's also a secondary one that if you don't get it quite hard enough, pops out there. So I think that's the basic play mechanics. There is one issue that I know of that is going to cause me a headache, and I'm going to have to address it at some point. It won't be done for Southern Fried because it's going to be far too involved, and I still have programming code to work on. But I have the police station here has two entrances. One is in the back and one is in the front. Now there's two ways of completing this one. If you there's a drop target inside of there. If you hit the drop target, that opens it up and then it'll flash, and then that will activate a lock ball mode, and so you can lock the ball in there. So the problem comes in, you've locked the ball, it's going to kick a new one out in the shooter lane. So now if I go around and the ball wants to try and come into the back of the police station, there's already a ball in there. So guess what? That's going to capture the ball. It's just going to get stuck. So to prevent that, there's going to be something that pops up, a deflector, to keep the ball from coming in, and it'll either divert it to the left or to the right. I have a couple designs for doing that, but I'm just not going to have time to complete that, unfortunately. But I'm going to try and, for the convention, I'm going to try and make some code such that you're better off trying to go this way if there's a ball locked. Like maybe I have a ball locked, but then, so the ball's locked there, maybe I'll flash this, as some sort of, hey, hit me. And then when it gets into there, then it'll kick the ball out. And then that way, unless you're a complete spaz and you launch the ball completely up into the top area, there's really less possibility of that situation occurring. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm pleased with it. And I guess I'll catch you guys later. Bye.